Hello. It's been a while since my last YouTube video. Between then and now I wrote another book and published it on Amazon. It's called Philosophizer's Bible. And I'm going to read out chapter 1 today. And I may continue making videos, reading out each of the chapters. They only take about 5 to 6 minutes, so these videos are not going to be very long. I'm doing this with a certain amount of trepidation because the book is quite radical in its approach, and I've got a feeling that it's going to invite quite a bit of anger, incomprehension, even ridicule, actually. It's not something no one wants to be ridiculed, but all I can say at this moment is this is meant absolutely seriously, and I would defend this book to the end. I actually talked at one point about getting out my machete if anyone attacked my book, but I wouldn't go to that extreme. Anyway, this is the book. Philosophizer's Bible. The front cover image is actually one of my Filofax notebooks. I might talk about that at another time. I have a little pad of Filofax paper which I take around with me and write notes on, and then they go into a Filofax. None of the Filofaxes is actually a Filofax. They're all kind of cheap imitations, but I use them to sort and keep my stuff, basically, my ideas on the hoof. So just for the record, Philosophizer's Bible is the 12th book that I now have on Amazon. There are the 6 Pathways programs which you can read as standalone books, and then there are the other books which you'll find if you go to my Amazon page on UK or US. What more is there to say? Yeah, I'm going to dive in. At the beginning of each video I'm going to maybe respond to any questions that have been raised. Of course I can also respond to comments online. But if anyone has any interesting questions or challenging questions, then I will respond to them. This is just the first page. The reason the universe exists is so there can be a world for me to be in. The reason I am here is so I can figure out why I'm here. Chapter 1. It's actually, I'll just say this book is dedicated to the memory of Rachel Brown, who was a really wonderful contributor to Pathways, who was one of the main people involved when Pathways was going strong, as it still is in some ways, but she was a great inspiration to all of us. A new leaf, that's the first chapter. What is it that philosophers do? You are old, but I am new. You are smarter, I am wiser. I shall be Philosophizer. I may be new, but I come from a tradition that is very, very old. Older than philosophy as you know it. I know about your heroes. I studied them, read their books. I was sold the dream of philosophy, the pursuit of truth. But whose truth? And to what end? Philosophers of the Academy serve a cause that is greater than themselves. How noble! Each scholar conceives of this in his or her own way. The pursuit of knowledge, the progress of human society, dialogue between cultures, peace on earth. I see through you all. Philosophers of the Academy serve. You are servants, slaves in fact. The coin that keeps you fed and clothed also ensures your unquestioning compliance. Dare to step out of line, and one or more of three things will happen. Your students will boycott you, your colleagues will ostracize you, the academy will terminate your contract. And that's not an idle threat, because it's actually happened to quite a few people. What about me? I considered myself a philosopher of the academy once, a fellow traveller. Now I pursue my own ends, alone. My heroes are Gorgias of Leontini and Diogenes of Sinope. Gorgias, prince of sophists, whose wealthy clients and patrons made him so rich he was able to afford to donate a gold statue of himself to the temple of Apollo, and who earned the academician Plato's envy for his success as well as for his unparalleled gifts. And Diogenes the cynic, who performed his philosophy in the street for coins tossed by passers-by, who told Alexander the Great, "Get out of my sunshine," and didn't even blink. The dog philosopher, who pissed and shat and wanked in the street, defying the Athenians' paper-thin conventions, the political correctness of the day, refusing to be shamed or silenced. Evangelists have a word which, despite my implacable, though good-natured, even jocular, hostility to the Christian religion, and to be fair, other religions too, I have no reason to be shy of: born again. Yes, I am born again. I am a new man. You would hardly recognize me next to the man I was back then. The shame of it. No, not really. Quote, "Everything that has happened in my life is for a reason, that I should become the person that I am," unquote. Philosophizer thinks of black quartz. Quote, "I am perfect in every way," unquote. I know that now. First published in 2016, Philosophizer is the book that set me free. A book that was written over the space of just 1 month in a surge of energy. It is mostly a happy and optimistic work, my gay science, if you will, which first broached the question, or rather question with a capital Q, what is what is? It's a question Gorgias asked, as he, in his own unique and inimitable style, interrogated the tradition that slavishly revered the great Parmenides, the philosopher of being, brilliantly in his piece on what is not. Diogenes, in his practical determination to see through every facade, every web of pretense constructed by society, was, I believe, onto the same thing. What is really real? Where can we find the core? Is there anything solid down there, or is all this just a tissue of lies and make-believe? To this day, I'm still not exactly sure what happened to me. Something must have snapped. Something broke inside of me. I broke my chain, my leash. For years I thought I was with you, you philosophers. I thought we were in this together. Then at last, at the last possible moment, almost too late to do anything about it, the realization hit home. You don't even know what I'm talking about, do you? Another philosopher you revere, Wittgenstein, had a term for it: the mystical. So sure was he that there was nothing to say, nothing could be stated about the mystical, that he spent his whole life, in his later philosophy as well as his earlier, trying to demonstrate that the supposed limits of language, which can't be drawn in language, blah blah, the invisible bars of our human cage, simply won't allow a single word of meaningful discourse about what is. Wherever you start, whatever words you utter or write, you end up going in round and round in a circle. Words and more words. Pathetic. The watchword of the academy is "follow my leader." The leader is any philosopher of the day who succeeds in making a big enough impact. Like myopic sheep, you can hardly see past the dag-encrusted tail of the sheep in front of you. The mistaken notion that philosophy is somehow focused on language and its rules and limits is what the majority of you now hold to be an indubitable truth, discovered by patient philosophical inquiry. The academic journals are full of this scheisse, and not just analytic philosophy, but continental, postmodern, you name it. On a superficial reading, Gorgias is making a similar point, but I believe he realized that you can't draw a conclusion here. You can only issue a challenge, pose the question. As a rhetorician, Gorgias isn't looking for indubitable proof. That's something only philosophers seek to do. His words are intended to move you, shake you out of your complacency. So, as I was saying, I broke my leash, I unleashed myself onto a waiting world. Not. Yeah, right. No matter. Clearly the time for us philosophizers has not yet arrived. Or maybe it passed eons ago, beyond history, beyond memory. It was burned to ash in the fires at the Library of Alexandria, the remnants of texts scrubbed out from the history books or distorted almost out of all recognition by jealous scholars of the Academy. Hardly surprising then that my optimistic message fell on deaf ears. Rise up, philosophers, join me. You have nothing to lose but your chains. Ha ha. As if you would want to do that in any possible world. Of course my message didn't get through. How foolish of me. No, seriously, this is funny. Why aren't you laughing? Maybe you are. Good. A laughing jury is not a hanging jury, they say. I know how the world of commerce works, and the academic world is just one of its many domains. Whoring after grant money or publishing contracts, or chasing those elusive big money prizes, academics of all disciplines have been well trained in the discipline of the marketplace. And regardless of the money, one is always going to have a hard time trying to promote, or in my case even give away, something that people don't even know they want. Unless it's an iPhone, of course. However, I am not one to give up so easily. And I believe I am not alone. In time you may be surprised. My advice is, you'd better start taking a very close look at your woodwork. Forbidden knowledge. The academically transgressive. You know or suspect what I'm talking about. You've tried to keep a lid on the turmoil bubbling just below the surface, for the sake of your jobs, your hot meals, your precious pensions, but you won't succeed. A second coming is upon you. That's it, that's the end of chapter 1. And as I said, if I get enough views and likes, I will continue right through to chapter 33. And I just hope that you continue following these videos. Do look at my books on Amazon. All the books are online except for this last one, Philosophizer's Bible. And when I write my next book, this one will go online. So, you know, anyone who wants to read my stuff for free is very welcome. Goodbye.